Now, we left off the edge of the forest. There was a tower. And we decided to check out the watchtower. And we went towards it. So here we are on 115. The area around the watchtower door has been cleared of foliage, and the ground is well trodden. You are looking for a lock or keyhole in the ironclad door when it suddenly opens. Standing before you is a knight of the White Mountain, a broadsword held in front of his face. "State your business and mark your words well. My steel will be my answer if you lie." If you wish to tell the knight the true purpose of your mission to Durinor, turn to 80. If you want to lie about why you are here, turn to 324. If you want to draw your weapon and attack the knight, turn to 162. Lying is not a smart idea. I'm sorry, fighting is not a smart idea right now because we are only at 11 endurance points. We need to get back up to full. So, since no one is here, I'm going to go with true purpose. Because if he is a knight of the White Mountain, you know, they're like kind of the paladins of this area. So he'll be all on board. If he's pretending to be a paladin, he'll probably attack. And that'll be that. But we could certainly use the help right now. Especially with all the chaos that's been happening. So I am going to go with telling him... Hopefully nothing happens. Okay. So I'm going to go with telling him the truth, since nobody's here. So if someone wants to pop up and say, no, we should do something else. Otherwise, I am going to turn to page 80. The knight sheathes his broadsword and ushers you inside the tower. You follow him to a large room at the top of a flight of stone steps, where a log fire blazes warmly. If you are who you claim to be, you must be in possession of the seal of Hammerdal. Show it to me, he orders. If you wish to show him the seal, turn to 15. If you do not have the seal or do not wish to show it, turn to 189. There's an option where you could lose the seal? That's weird. I'm going to show it to him. I mean, we're going to commit to this honesty thing. Everyone's been so shady up to now. I think we're due for a good guy. His look of suspicion... Oh, and we've gone 2 pages so far with no combat, so let's update that. So we're at 13 hit points now. Perfect. His look of suspicion changes to one of surprise. I believed you to be a trickster, Kai Lord. I must confess, I had planned to teach you a lesson you would have not forgotten in a lifetime. Please forgive my doubts, but your story sounded so grave that I refused to believe it for fear it to be true. I am sworn to the defense of the border, and I cannot leave this tower, but I offer you any of my possessions if they may aid you on your quest. He places the following items on a large oak table and invites you to take your choice. Yes! Now, did we lose our backpack? I thought we kept our backpack. We don't need 2 broadswords. And quarterstaffs are dumb. So we got plenty of stuff. So let's grab whatever we can and just fill up. So I guess I lost the gem too? See, I'm confused now. I thought we lost the contents of our backpack, not the backpack itself. Or maybe this was just an option just in case there was another option where we did lose our backpack. I'm not sure. But I am going to grab the mace. The 12 gold crowns, because we can always use more. So we go to 32. See, we took a risk and it paid off. Enough food for 3 meals, so I'm going to put meal, meal, meal. Now we got plenty of meals. And then healing potion restores 3 endurance points. I'll take that for sure. So it looks like we're doing pretty good. We have a broadsword and a mace now. 32 gold. 3 extra meals and a healing potion. So yeah, we definitely left, took, took. If we didn't have, we definitely have now. And took. Alright, with that in mind, let's continue. As you're about to leave the tower, he points out the direction you should take. When you reach the Rhymer Rift, take the track northwards. You will come to a bridge guarded by the king's men. When they ask for the password, answer them with the word sunset. The road beyond Rhymer Rift leads to Port Bax. Godspeed, Lone Wolf. You thank the brave warrior and leave. You must abandon your horse at the watchtower, for it would be impossible to pass through the dense trees on horseback. Well, he gets a horse out of it then. I mean, you stole it anyway. Turn to 244. And get another hit point. Actually, I have a curiosity about something. Now that we actually have a healing potion, do we have to use it out of combat? Restores 4 hit points. Your total when swallowed after combat. The only enough for 1 dose. You discover adventure after combat. That's the trick of it. Now, wait a minute. This one didn't say 4 hit points, did it? Or did it say... Crud, where was that? Here we go. This one restores 3 endurance points. Weird. So I should probably make that note, because normal hit points, normal healing potions restore 4. There we go. 3. All right. You push on through the dense forest for nearly 3 hours before you discover a track heading north, running parallel to the Rimmer Rift, whose rushing waters are over 1 mile deep. In the distance, you spot a bridge that spans the dark water at a narrow point. A small hut with a flat roof has been erected in the center, on top of which stands 2 soldiers. A sign points across the bridge. Port backs. If you wish to cross the bridge, turn to 47. If you do not wish to avoid the bridge and continue along the path, turn to 207. If you have the Kai discipline of tracking, turn to 147. Now, we know that we should cross the bridge, and we have a password for it. But... oh, that's right, we didn't take tracking. I almost forgot about that. So since we didn't take tracking, we know we should cross the bridge. So let's go ahead and do that. 47. Come on. There we go. The soldiers quickly descend from the roof of the hut and grab their spears. They advance towards you, and one of them shouts, "Password, stranger!" If you know the correct password for the bridge, turn to 111. If you do not, turn to 307. Well, obviously we know it, so we turn to 111. The guards reluctantly lower their weapons and allow you to cross the bridge. As you slip past, they stare at you and whisper to each other. Once you are safely across the Rimmer Rift, you quickly hurry on your way in case they change their minds and arrest you. After nearly an hour of walking along the forest road, you arrive at a junction where a signpost points to the east. Port backs 3 miles. You smile and set eastward. You should be there in just under an hour. Turn to 265. So this one, and I'm going to guess the next one, so we should add that to our hit points. 265. Okay, yeah, no combat here, so let's add those 2 hit points. Doing good. We're 2/3 of the way up now. It's going to make it 16. At dusk on the 10th day of your quest, you experience your first sight of the magnificent city of Port Backs. So we're in Port Backs, so let's go ahead and update that. So that's here. Yep, there we are right there. It's having a little trouble. All right. Like a diamond set in the green velvet shore, the towers of the city glimmer in the pale light of the waxing moon. To the north is the harbor to the formidable war fleet of the Durinese navy. To the east, beyond the moss-covered city walls, stretches the forest of Durinur, and there, on the crest of a hill, stands a castle tall and proud, the crowning glory of this beautiful port. You enter Port Bax through an unguarded gate in the green city wall, and make your way through the darkening streets towards the harbor. As you turn into a tree-lined avenue, you notice the wide stone steps of a domed building to your right. You stop to read the brass plaque. City Hall. If you wish to enter the City Hall, turn to 84. If you wish to continue on your way towards the harbor, turn to 191. If you have the Kai discipline of tracking, turn to 252. Well, we don't have tracking. So, we can either continue towards the harbor, or turn to City Hall. It is saying like it's nearing nighttime. But I'm curious why they would include City Hall. I mean, we've been taking a lot of the official routes so far. And I suppose if I die, it's my own fault. So, you know what? Let's try City Hall. 84. Another hit point. Well, that's weird. I accidentally undid something else. Oh, I undid a few things on accident. There we go. Fixed. Just inside the main door sits a kindly old man with a long beard. He is studying a huge leather-bound book that rests on a lectern before him. He has not noticed you enter the city hall. If you wish to ask him the way to the consulate of Summerland, turn to 211. If you wish to leave and try to find your own way there, turn to 191. So apparently we're trying to find the consulate of Summerland. Interesting. So let's ask him. He looks kindly. He hasn't noticed me. Let's ask him. Why not? Oh, get another hit point. Almost fully healed. Woo! The consulate of Summerland, he says in surprise, somewhat taken aback by your sudden appearance. Then recovering himself, he says, Why, of course. It is in Eland Square near the harbor. Turn right when you leave, and right again at the end of the avenue. That will take you to the Red Gate. You'll need a red pass to enter, as the consulate is in the naval quadrant of the city. It's a restricted area. You ask the man... You ask the man how you can obtain the red pass. From the captain of the port watch, he says. You're obviously a stranger to Port Bax. There are few indeed that do not know the answer to that question. The port watch tower is at the end of the avenue, just as you turn for the Red Gate. You thank the old man and leave the city hall. So we now know what we need to do and what we need and all that stuff. So that was a good side route. At the end of the... Oh, we get another hit point. Make sure we keep up with that stuff. We're just 2 points away from fully healed. Woo! At the end of the avenue, the cobbled street turns abruptly to your right, to the right. Opposite this point is a tall, white stone building with a plaque above the door. Port Watchtower, Harbor Authority. You can see that the cobbled street ends at a high stone wall. There is a large red gate in the wall, and it is guarded by 2 soldiers. Beyond the gate, you can make out the masts of ships moored in the harbor. If you wish to enter the Port Watchtower, turn to 318. If you wish to approach the red gate, turn to 248.6. Well, we know now that if we try to go through the red gate without a red pass, we will not be able to get through the guards. So, let's go ahead and enter the watchtower so that we can get our red pass. Hopefully, it won't be a red herring. Oh, God, that was bad. I didn't even know I was going to make that joke. So, 318. Whoops, too far. Oh, get another hit point. We are in a good place now. I'm still sad about losing that armor. You are standing in a large, empty hall. Opposite, there are 2 doors, each with a brass sign above them. If you wish to enter the door marked white passes, turn to 75. If you wish to enter the door marked red passes, turn to 62. If you wish to leave and approach the guards at the end of the street, turn to 246. Well, this gives us a chance to turn back, but we know we need a red pass. I don't even know what we do with a white pass. So let's get a red pass. Maybe we'll see if we can get a white pass too after, if it lets us. Sometimes it closes off the other branch. So it seems to make sense to go for the red passes first. 62. Yep. And we get our final hit point, and we are fully healed. There we go. Here we go, 62. You enter a large room full of ledgers and files. A man wearing the uniform of a Durnese naval officer is seated opposite at a large desk. He peers at you inquisitively from behind a huge book and says, "You must have pressing business in the naval quadrant to apply for a red pass at this late hour. I shall need to see your access papers and proof of your commanding officer's authorization. If you have collected the necessary documents on your quest, turn to 126. If you do not have the documents he requires, or do not wish to show them to him, you will have to risk showing him the seal of Hammerdal. Turn to 263. If you do not have either the seal or the documents, leave the room and return to the outer hall by turning to 318. Well, we have the seal. We don't have any documents. So, looks like we're going to have to risk showing him the seal. 263. Keep flashing this seal around. Eventually someone's going to get very angry and try to attack us. The man stares at the seal with a look of shocked dismay. Without saying a word, he gets up from his chair and beckons you to follow him up a flight of spiral stairs that leads to a domed chamber. Here, you meet the captain of the port watch. He listens intently as you tell of the War of Summerland and of your urgent mission. Issue a red pass immediately, he orders, top priority. You collect your pass, leave the port watchtower, and hurry along the street towards the harbor guards. So, let's put in the backpack. It doesn't say it's a special item, so let's put it in the backpack. Yep, there we go. All right. Turn to 246. Now we can head towards the gate. One of the guards steps forward and demands to see your pass. If you have a white pass, turn to 170. If you have a red pass, turn to 202. If you do not have a pass, you will be refused entry to the harbor. Turn to 327. We have a red pass, so we're good. Turn to 202. Oops, too far. The soldier salutes and allows you to pass through the red gate. You walk into an open square, lit by the tall beacons lining the quayside. To your relief, you sight the marble pillars of the Summerland consulate and the familiar sun flag of your country flying above it in the fresh night breeze. As you climb the stone steps, you are recognized by the Summerlanding guards on duty at the main door. They disappear inside and quickly return in the company of a tall, gray-haired official. His anguished expression suddenly changes to a smile of joy as he beholds your ragged Kai cloak and tunic. Hope beyond hope! Thank the gods that you live. Kai Lord, the scant news that has reached us from the west has caused us great alarm. You are ushered inside and taken immediately to the envoy of Summerland, Lord Lieutenant Rygar. Turn to 31. Ooh, this can be a long one. Might want to take a sip. Your first meeting with the Lord Lieutenant comes as something of a shock. You have perhaps half expected him to be a servile old man, as are the envoys of the southern land that plague your king's court with their delegations. The man clad in heavy chainmail standing before you is neither old nor servile. You are soon to learn that the Lord Lieutenant Rygar is an exceptional man. Born of a Summerlanding father and a Duranese mother, he has become something of a legend in this city. In the last decade, he has led an alliance of the nations to victory against the invading ice barbarians of Kelti. Wise in peace, fierce in war, you could not have wished for better company on your quest for the Summer Sword. Rygar orders that a sumptuous meal be served. It is by far the best food you have tasted since the war began. During the feast, you recall the events that have brought you to Port Bax and reflect on the daunting challenge that still lies before you. After the meal, Rygar sends for his physician, who attends to your wounds. His potions restore 6 endurance points. More full up, but that would have been very helpful if we hadn't. Then he advises you to sleep, for you are to leave with the Lord Lieutenant for Hammerdall in the morning. Early next day, you are taken to an enclosed garden at the rear of the consulate, where Rygar and 3 of his best soldiers await you on horseback. They are to be your bodyguards and guides on the 230-mile ride to Hammerdall. The streets of Port Bax are just beginning to come to life as you ride through the town, passing under the moss-covered city gate. You now feel confident that your mission will succeed. Pick a number from the random number table. If it's 0 through 4, turn to 176. If it's 5 through 9, turn to 254. So, now we have to add in that random element. It's interesting how very different from the previous games. Like, let's add more variety to the replayability by having more randomized events. It's interesting. It's not just choices. It definitely gives it more of a D&D feel, I guess. 4. $176 it is. Funny thing is, I have no way to tell from any one item whether or not my choice or my random roll was good or bad. Oh, we get a picture with this one. Maybe we chose right. For 3 days and nights, you have ridden along the highway as it follows its route up the river valley of the Durnan. In the distance are the peaks of the Hammerdall Mountains, one of the highest ranges in all of Magmund. The capital lies at the very center of those mountains. It is now the morning of the 14th day of your quest. You have made camp near a waterfall, where the fast-flowing Durnan drops over 120 feet. You are about to leave when a group of 6 hooded riders appear on the forest highway above, blocking your exit from the camp. Well, that's not good. He can demand all he wants to exit or to get out of our way, but if they're there to kill us, of course they're not going to get out of the way. Lord Lieutenant Rygar demands that they let you pass as you bear a royal dispatch. Lord Lieutenant Rygar demands that they let you pass, adding that you bear a royal dispatch. In Durner, it is a treasonable offense to hinder a king's messenger, but unfortunately the cloaked riders do not seem impressed by his warning, and they remain where they are. If you do not care for reason, perhaps our swords will turn your tails, says Rygar. He draws his sword and orders his men to attack. If you wish to follow him, turn to 45. If you do not want to attack, turn to 277. If you have the Kai discipline of Sixth Sense, turn to 322. Well, obviously, something shady, and we need to know what's up. So let's see what's going on page 322. Here we go. There's a strong aura of evil surrounding these cloaked riders. Your Kai sense warns you not to follow Rygar and his men on their impetuous charge. You shout a warning to them to stop them attacking, but it is too late. You cannot be heard above their battle cries and the thundering hooves of their mounts. Turn to 277. Ruh-roh. Are they going to be killed? Is this legend going to be killed that early? All right. As Rygar and his men gallop nearer to the riders, one of the cloaked horsemen draw a black staff from beneath his robes. A fierce blue flame shoots from its tip and explodes beneath Rygar's horse, sending him head over heels into the dense undergrowth. Rygar's men furiously attack them with their swords. Their sharp blades slice clean through their enemies. cloaks, and bodies, but then you realize that they are having no effect, for these are Helghast, fell captains of the Dark Lord. They have the ability to adopt human form, but they are invulnerable to normal weapons. The cloaked staff bearer gives a hideous laugh and tears at your mind. He is using a very powerful mind blast against you. You know you are outnumbered by a superior enemy, and you must act quickly if you are to survive this ambush at all. If you wish to abandon your horse and dive for the cover of the thick undergrowth, turn to 311. If you wish to aid Rygar's men, turn to 59. If we turn to 59, we're gonna die. We are not strong enough to take on 6 Helghast, and we do not have special weapons. They have Mind Blast. We have Mind Blast. We have Mind Shield, which helps. But there are 6 of them. So we gonna dive. We can either be stupid and brave, or smart. And you know what? Let the men that are they're there to guard us actually guard us and heed our escape. I mean, obviously the other dude took a tumble through the undergrowth, so maybe we'll find Lieutenant Captain Legend Man. So unless someone says otherwise, I am turning to 311. You come to rest, face downward, in a tangle of thicket bracken. The ringing of steel and the horrible cries of the Helghast echo through the trees around you. You are stunned and cannot move until a hand grabs your arm and pulls you upright. It is Rygar. His face is bloody and his armor is battered and charred. We must flee these demons, Lone Wolf. Strength and steel will not avail us here. You glimpse the silhouette of 6 Helghast on the forest road above, their minds bent on the slaughter of Rygar's men. They fail to see you both slip away under the cover of the wooded hillside. Turn to 299. See, not very long until they go, alright, let's cut down the number of dudes so that you got one companion and just you. So you're either going to be alone or you're going to have a companion. You're not going to have a whole team. We're not allowing you to actually have a group of people. So, 299. Here it was on 299. We've scuttled off into the distance. We are in the forest. So battle sounds go away. For 6 hours, you run without rest. The Helghast are on the highway, and you are forced to make your way through the steep and wooded foothills. To avoid the risk of capture, many times you feel that you just cannot go on, that the pain and the fatigue are just too much to bear. But each time you falter, you are spurred on by Rygar. You marvel at his endurance, for he is not a young man, and he is clothed in the heavy armor of a summerlanding knight. By nightfall, you have reached the entrance to Tarnlin, the western tunnel through the Hammerdal Mountains. The 3 tunnels of Durinur were excavated during the Age of the Black Moon, and each tunnel is over 40 miles long and passes through the huge circle of the Hammerdal Range to the capital. The tunnel provides the only access to the city. I don't want to be on live stuff like this for too long. The internet and my phone are struggling. I mean, I'm good. So, I mean, you can always just hit reset on your phone. It's probably because you're not actually watching. But like you have me in the background. Okay. Just rather strange that it went from 2 viewers to 1 when you logged in. Pop in again later. Okay. So let's update our dude. We made it all the way to Mia. What the? Where'd he go? It just disappeared. How in the world did that happen? Can I hit Control Z on that? Why does it say Enter A? I'll have to fix that. Oh, there it is. Somehow it got put somewhere weird. Man, I don't know how that happened. But it seems to be fixed now. Yeesh. Hit my own ankle. Oh, I'm a little lightheaded. I just got my number 2 shot yesterday, so I've been feeling it all today. I've been kind of out. So I might actually, unless a bunch of people pop in around 9, I'm probably going to call it early today. Just because, yeah. It's just a bit of a strain to do all this, feeling this way. Just moving around like that got me a little lightheaded. But let's I want to fix that timer. That was janky as all heck. Like, I'm guessing when I deleted the auto-filled command in there, you know, the response message, they're like, enter a message here. Somehow I deleted just half of it or something. But that should fix it. So yeah, look, it's back to 2 viewers. That's really weird. I don't know. All right. Back to it, shall we? Oh, that's weird. Framing's wrong on that. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, that's where that should be. That's where that should be. But I think I actually got knocked down a little bit. Oopsie. Yeah, it's on both of them. I don't know. Oh, too loud. Alright. Rygar sits beside you and takes some bread and meat from his pack. Eat this, lone wolf. You must sustain your strength for the journey to Hammerdal. For from here you must venture alone through the Tarnelin. I shall remain here and hold the enemy back for as long as I have the strength to fight. Do not argue. That your mission should succeed is the only thing that matters. If Rygar is to hold off the Helghast, he will need a magic weapon, as his own sword is of no use against the creature. If you wish to give him your magic spear so that he can defend the tunnel entrance, turn to 102. I never got a magic spear. Son of a gun. There was an opportunity for me to get a magic spear at some point. If you do not possess a magic spear or do not wish to give it to Rygar, turn to 118. I want to give him a magic spear because I want this dude to survive. That's really annoying. I kind of almost hope I die now. Just so that I can find another route where I end up with a magic spear. That's annoying. Grr. Alright. Turn to 118. Don't have any other choice. Wait. That's weird. This illustration's where I turn to. You bid Rygar farewell and enter Tarnelin. Over 100 feet in height and width, the tunnel runs to the capital of the far side, on the far side of the Hammerdal Range, and it is lit by torches for the entire length. The highway through the mountain is unusually active, with the traffic of merchants to and from Port Back. Yet now the entrance and interior are deserted except for an overturned fruit wagon. As you walk deeper into Tarnelin, a doubt nags you. Have the Helghast arrived here first? You have been walking for half an hour when you see a strange creature on top of a wagon in the road ahead. It is 2 feet high and resembles an overgrown marsh rat. You assume it some sort of tunnel-dwelling rodent until you notice that it is wearing a splendid jacket of patched leather and carrying what appears to be a spear. As you get near, it suddenly turns to face you. Its whiskered nose is sniffing the air, and its bright black eyes are peering into the gloom. It sees you and scampers off into the darkness of a smaller tunnel to your left. If you wish to follow this creature, turn to 23. If you wish to ignore it and continue your way, turn to 340. If you have the Kai discipline of animal kinship, turn to 279. Well, we don't have animal kinship. However, I'm curious what's going on with these creatures. They may be of great assistance. They don't appear to be bad guys. So let's go follow him. 23. You chase the furry creature as it hurries along a narrow, twisting passage for nearly 10 minutes, and are about to give up the chase when the passage opens into a huge tortuous cavern. A stunning sight greets your eyes. The cavern houses an entire colony of these strange creatures, all busily sorting through and examining a vast pile of strange objects littering the center of the hall. If you have the Kai discipline of animal kinship, turn to 144. If you do not have the skill, turn to 295. Again, we don't have the skill. This might be the next one to get. Because we've been missing out on all the animal kinship since the very beginning. So, 295 it is. A creature, much larger than the others and dressed in a magnificent robe of patchwork silk, screams an order in their strange language. All of the furry creatures armed themselves with spears and swords that looked as if they had been crafted from broken wagon spokes and broom handles. With a strange battle cry that sounds like Gashkis, Nashkis, they charge towards you. Your curiosity soon gives way to the realization that you must evade them or be trampled to death by the sheer weight of their numbers. You turn and sprint along the narrow corridor until their angry cries begin to fade. You reach the entrance to where the passage connects with the main tunnel and continue your journey from there. Turn to 340. Well, crud, this whole thing is I can't talk to them at all unless I have animal kinship. Booey. Alright. Get some more tunnel sounding. Dungeon depths. Maybe something like that. You have been walking along the deserted tunnel for a further half hour when the highway splits into two. If you wish to enter the left tunnel, turn to 64. If you wish to enter the right tunnel, turn to 164. We are given nothing to go on. So it's like, don't know. Oh no, let me look at the map here. I'm gonna say just turn right. Left looks like it heads up through the mountain, whereas right at least will head towards other tunnels. So I'm gonna turn right. 164. You have walked for nearly a mile along the deserted tunnel when you see a flight of steps cut into the rock face to your left. They lead to a platform which runs the length of the tunnel ceiling. It is used to service the torches. If you wish to climb the steps to investigate the platform, turn to 52. If you wish to ignore the steps and continue on your journey, turn to 256. If you have the Kai discipline of Sixth Sense, turn to 172. Perfect. We have Sixth Sense. Let's always use it. Like always. Your Kai sense warns you that there is something evil hiding in the darkness of the platform. So if we want to climb the stone steps and confront it, yeah. I mean, we got full endurance. If you wish to sprint past the steps and platform, turn 256. If you wish to run back to the junction, take the left path, 64. We can sense evil, but that doesn't mean we can or can't fight it, I guess. Because we don't have a magical weapon. Let's confront it. At least see what it is. 52. Maybe we can run away. Oh no. Suddenly, from out of the darkness above, there is a blood-chilling cry. You look up and see the glowing red eyes of a Hellgast as it charges down the steps straight at you. You scream in terror and frantically search for a weapon. If you have a magic spear, turn to 338. If you do not, turn to 234. Guess what? We're gonna die. 234 it is. Before you can defend yourself, the Hellgast has smashed into you, and you both fall onto the highway below. It may be some comfort to learn that your death was swift and painless. Your neck was instantly broken, and you were spared the agony of the Hellgast's black fingers tearing and burning their way through your throat. The seal of Hammerdal is now on its way to Holmgard, which will now fall to the Dark Lords. Your life and your quest end here. Well, death count 3. See, this is what I get for not having people here to vote in. I do dumb stuff. I couldn't even run away. Now, Slow Fidelity and I had discussed the idea of whether or not, and when I die, because the idea is I go back to the beginning. What beginning, though? We've already beat book 1. Do I start at the very, very beginning in book 1? And go from there? Or do we start at the beginning of book 2, where we are? So the book that we're in, we just start at the beginning of it. Like, each book will count as a save point. He said we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. However, Slow's not here. So, honestly, I think I'm going to cut the stream